Chapter 10, Human Alteration of the Atmosphere, Section 10.5, Air Pollution Control. So most developed nations have some sort of a system in place to control air pollution. Air pollution is quite a serious problem. In the United States, the Environmental Protection Agency is in charge. In Canada, it's Environment Canada. The EPA has documented significant decreases in emissions of nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides, and carbon monoxide since 1982. Emissions of volatile organic compounds, which are involved in the production of photochemical smog, have reduced by 18% between 1990 and 2005. In the United States, the EPA has also reported a significant decrease in particulate matter. Between 1988 and 2003, particles with a size smaller than 2.5 microns, or PM 2.5, reported a decrease of 30%, while the larger PM 10, or 10 micron size particulate matter, saw a decrease of 31%. Measurements of chemicals responsible for acid deposition have also gone down. Measurements of wet sulfate deposition and field pH values out in the environment in the United States showed a decline significantly from 1994 to 2009. All of these reported decreases occurred in Canada too. Here we see a graph showing the change in the concentration of carbon monoxide between 1980 and 2009 as recorded at 114 different sites across the United States. So we can see that the decrease is in the order of 75%. Here we see nitrogen dioxide concentration changes at 81 sites between 1980 and 2009, and we went from about an average of 27 parts per billion down to about 15 parts per billion by 2010. Here we see the concentration of sulfur dioxide in the air between 1980 and 2009 at 134 sites, and once again significant decreases, more than having the amount of this chemical in the atmosphere. This map shows concentration of sulfite ion at the Earth's surface. So a measure of sulfate deposition. We can see that it was quite high in the industrial area around the Great Lakes in the United States. 15 years later, significant decreases. This map shows concentrations of hydrogen ion as pH measurements made in the laboratory for 1994. So we're talking about pH of sampled materials. Many measurements in the low 4s around the Great Lakes. Here is another set of measurements. In 2009, you can see that pH has increased significantly. Several different pollution strategies have been employed. The single most effective strategy is to put laws in place and levy fines to polluters. Some polluters have used a number of techniques to redistribute pollutions away from humans and other life forms, put it up higher up in the atmosphere. Some smokestacks have technology called scrubbers that removes pollution before it enters the atmosphere. So here we see a picture of the Inco superstack. So this was used to disperse the pollution that was being produced from the Inco smelter over a wider area in the atmosphere. We have also developed a number of technological solutions for pollution, things like filters on smokestacks, catalytic converters in cars to remove nitrogen pollution, alternative fuel vehicles. You'll notice now that there's quite a few electric vehicles driving around. They don't produce emissions, harmful emissions from the burning of fossil fuels. One of the surest ways to reduce atmospheric pollution is stop the production of the pollutants. So just don't produce them, burn less fossil fuels. And our economy is quickly becoming more renewable, using sources of energy that include solar, wind, and geothermal. So here's a picture of a catalytic converter located along the exhaust pipe of a car. And catalytic converters are used to remove nitrogen pollutants from going into the atmosphere.